your book. So let me just say, first of all, I'm extremely proud that you and I actually worked together on the original, and I know that I published it. I know we wanted more, and it didn't work out exactly the way you wanted to, but you wrote your ass off. So I want you to just, I want to acknowledge that, and that I'm extremely proud that we connected so many years ago. But you've re-released it, so I need people to go get that one. So please tell us what's happening with Redefining Diva.
I want to, first of all, I want to thank you, Karen, because you were the one that sought me out to write the book. You were the one that said to me, what was it, 8, 10 years ago, you need to speak out because people need to hear your journey. So I thank you for that. But what I'm doing is, during Corona, everybody kept saying to me, Sheryl Lee Ralph, you have got to do the Audible version of this book. So Karen, I started on it since I had the audio rights. I started on it. Then Audible heard about it and they were like, can you send us the book? We'd like to hear it. And they picked it up. And now it's Redefining Diva 2.0. It is redone, updated, expanded chapters, new chapters. And I am so thrilled with the way it's going. And I encourage everybody to please download my book, Redefining Diva 2.0, on Audible right now, and it makes a great gift, or so I've been told by other listeners.
I co-sign that. It is an awesome book. I mean, it's very, you put it out there, everything, and it's really a blueprint for anybody that is in, not just in the business, but in life. You know, the wisdom that you share, which we see whenever you come through anyway, is jumps off the page. And I know if you are doing the dramatic reading of your own book, it's got to be everything. So I'm going to download my copy as soon as we finish. All right. So Drew, you're here. Go ahead. Ask whatever.
So I'm curious. I'm curious when you said that there's expanded chapters too. For those of us who actually read it the first time, can you tell me a little bit about what it may be new that we're going to hear? Just a little sneak peek about maybe things that you added that wasn't in the previous.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things is I talk about the comparison between the fight back in the day around AIDS and the fight now around COVID-19. Back in the day, with all of my conversations, trying to speak up and tell people, use condoms. They are a proven barrier to the disease. Do you think we could get folks to use condoms? They don't feel right. I can't get this. Oh no, I don't want anybody to think that I'm sleeping around. None of that. And I said, this is crazy. Folks just don't want to do what they need to do to help themselves, in comparison to right about now when we're talking about telling people, wear a mask. Wear a mask. It is a proven barrier to stop the spread of the disease. And can we get people to agree that you need to wear a mask so that you don't get infected and that you don't infect somebody else? It doesn't feel good. So my response is, I guess AIDS must have felt real good to a lot of people. Now I guess COVID and Corona must feel good to a whole lot of people. Come on, let's just do what we need to do to survive and thrive. I also talk about the fact that, man, I had to fight back in the day just to stay in the business. But my in the business and generations before me has been worth it when I could look at the Emmys this year and see Black girls reigning in their magic. How proud am I of Regina King? How proud am I of Issa Rae? How proud am I of Octavia, who gave me the last great hug before Corona? Oh my God. How proud and happy I am for the future of Zendaya. I mean, it's like, wow, I want to encourage them, but not to forget the folks that got beaten up in the past to make this a reality. I can tell you about the number of times people told me, why do you go to the Emmys? It's not like you're nominated. Thank you. I went all those days so that folks could be nominated and seen now, no matter how many of us were not seen in the past. It's important to show up no matter what anybody thinks. Show up because you might have kids that need to know you showed up. That part.
Love to hear it.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting too because there's you're saying that you had to fight so hard to be in the business, but you know, I've been turned on my TV for like the last 5 years, and you're on TV, you're doing
everywhere.
the stuff, right? So like, how is it different now? Because I know content creators and folks who are like, they have all of these lists of people that I want to work with, this person, who are like the legends on their list. And you're always on that list of folks too. So is it different now?
I think it's much different now. I mean, look at it. Right now, I'm in mandatory quarantine in Canada in preparation for a new Hallmark movie, Christmas movie with Tamara Mowry. And then right after that, I'm going right into another season of Motherland Fort Salem on Freeform. And it is my prayer that ABC will continue to move forward with Harlem's Kitchen, the series with Delroy Lindo and myself. And I'm telling you, it's Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, and Grey's Anatomy all rolled up in one. So you're right, things are different because it just keeps happening. I'm late with you all today because I was working on a project using my voice for Citibank. And I'm just like, okay, thank you, God. In this time, I'm very thankful. And, you know, I got to direct a film with BET Her around breast cancer awareness. So, you know, I'm always wake up grateful to God that I was able to wake up, that my eyes opened, that I could stand up on my own, that I could breathe on my own. So that's another day that I can move forward, knowing that God will give me increase.
Talk about the drought though, because you know life is you know, it's a roller coaster. You're gonna have valleys,
That's
and I
right.
think when we're in a valley, we can't see our way out. Most of us, when we're in those periods of drought, when we're in those valleys, we can't imagine getting out of it. Even though we get up every day with hope, you know, a lot of us will pray and we'll fast and we'll go through it. But you can't see the end. When you were in it, talk about the depth of that and not knowing if those calls, because the calls were coming. The calls are coming now, fast and furious. But there was a period, and I remember, when Sheryl Lee Ralph wasn't working as frequently as she is now.
Girl, don't make me cry up here this morning, because you know now I gotta think about what that was like. You know, it was like when I was doing that work around HIV and AIDS and telling people that you gotta stop hating on gay people. I remember how awful people were to me. I remember how people told me I was stupid. I remember how people told me that God would have no favor on me. I remember how people told me that I just need to shut up because it's not my fight. I remember that. I remember people telling me, ain't nobody gonna wanna work with you. Shoot, I even remember people telling me, girl, why don't you just gain some weight because ain't nobody gonna hire you keeping so slim and glamorous. I remember all of that. I remember that. And I just had to keep, the little church girl in me just had to keep believing that everything was going to be all right. And all you had to do was keep telling the truth, no matter how hard it was for people to hear. I remember people telling me that this AIDS thing is not real. And I'm just running around with like Chicken Little with my head cut off. I remember that. Shoot. And when I said to people, look, if sex is a problem for men, how you think it's not going to be a problem for women? If it's a problem for women, how you think it's not going to be a problem for families? And I remember people looking at me and saying, you think too much. You think too deep. And in the back of my mind, I had to hold back saying, and you don't think enough. Don't get me started, Karen Hunter. Girl, please.
As HIV and AIDS ravages Black women at an alarming rate, you know, we talk about
Yes, it did.
Black women were the number one most infected, the highest infection rates among Black women, and so without you being out front, without your divas concert and your fundraisers and all of that and bringing awareness to it. A lot of people talk about Elizabeth Taylor, but Shirley Ralph was there, you know, you were there when nobody was there. And I'm glad that you're talking about it because, you know, especially in our, you know, Christian backgrounds, you know, you get ostracized for being out front. And I know where you come from, you know, so what you're talking about, I know is real because I saw it. I witnessed it happening to you. So I'm glad that you're able to not just come out of it, but be right and righteous and now prosperous, you know, because you stood your ground. What has been the most rewarding in doing, you know, the Divas concert every year and watching, you know, that grow into a thing?
You know, it's interesting because the very first 2 or 3 years, people kept saying, why is this not on TV? Why aren't people seeing this? And 30 years later, this year is going to be the first year we are going to be televised on KTLA in LA. And it is my dream that next year, the Next Star Network will take this show on the different stations that they have in cities that house kitchens that feed people people are in need of food right now. And Project Angel Food, who we support in LA, they feed people who are sick, people who have life-threatening diseases, some people who don't have family to help them in their sickness or their time of need, some people who don't have people to bring food to them. But kitchens like Project Angel Food, you tell them you need help, they will deliver healthy food to you. They believe that food is medicine. And there are more kitchens like that across this country. And I want to reach out to them with the power of our commitment to helping others who are least able to help themselves. But Saturday, December 5th, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., Divas Simply Singing will be televised. I've heard from people like Leslie Odom that says, I want to help. I heard from Cynthia Erivo who said, Sheryl, let me sort myself out and see how I can help you. You know, I'm waiting to hear back from I'm waiting to hear back from my sister, Patti LaBelle, because Patti LaBelle has given so much of herself to help others that we would like to honor her with our humanitarian award. And I just feel so inspired that we have to continue, especially in this time of Corona, to let people know your health matters. Black people especially, your health matters. And I want you to find the power to put yourself first, to get and fight for the health care that you deserve. So thank you.